Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, I have a small research project for those of you that trade options, which you might find interesting. What I did is I took all of the stocks, or at least the stocks that had relevant liquid options that appeared on the overlap tab today, and I tried to track their actual pricing from the point in which they breached the overlap tab all the way up until they either went outside of the clouds or hit their targets. Now here's a list of all of the different stocks that appeared on the overlap tab today. We had the likes of Wix, United Healthcare, CROX, gaming stocks, Net. We also had a lot of travel stocks that hit the scanner. Now on the overlap tab today, we had a total of 11 stocks, and those are the 11 you see here. Wix was very much towards the end of the day, so I would argue you really had 10 stocks that you could do anything with the information with. Now, a lot of travel-related stocks also hit our live scanner today. I'll show you that when we go to the live charts. But for right now, these are the stocks we're going to break a little bit further into. United Healthcare, CROX, along with Cloudflare, which has the most data, so I'll start with that one first. Now, with Cloudflare, here's a chart of today's activity on a 1-minute time frame chart. It appeared on our overlap tab when we had price action breaching both the hourly models, you can see that right here, along with the daily models. The larger clouds are the daily models, the smaller clouds are the hourly models. So once we had both overlapping, that's when it appears on the overlap tab of our live scanner. Now the call that I'm tracking to try and play this move instead of looking at the actual underlying is the 58 strike call that expires tomorrow, September 23rd. Now, at the time of entry, this is what the pricing looked like for this particular call. Going for about 86 cents per contract, so $86 for the actual options contract. Now, there was a little bit of heat on this trade where price action started to go in our direction, but very quickly then started to go against us, making even new lows. Now, the part that I thought was interesting with the options pricing is that option dropped in value all the way down to 55 cents. So that was a fairly steep drop, I would say, about 36% in total. Now we had the rally from getting the absolute bottom of this stock, which from the options perspective, I tracked that price at right around 55 cents. The max when we hit the target line, which is this gray target line, was about 76 cents on the options contract. And the bigger picture to highlight here is that 76 cents, despite us being higher up in price compared to when we had our first entry signal of 86 cents. So there's a slight little discrepancy there between what I think we would have expected the pricing to be compared to what it actually was. Now, despite that, the 76 cent total max number when we hit the target is still a gain of about 38%. So it does, from a percentage standpoint, outdo the downside move that you had to experience from the 86 cents. But this is, of course, only assuming you can get the 55 cents. Otherwise, you're still in the red on this options position. Now finally, as we ended the day with the max peak up, the third leg up higher here, that's where the options started to gain in value with the max value of about 93 cents. So what I found interesting in this particular case with Net's options is the second leg down lower and just how much damage that did to the stock, which of course has an expiry of tomorrow. So you had theta working against you, you then started to have delta working against you, and I think both of those seemed to do enough damage where even this rally took a little bit longer to try and get slightly above what you would consider break even from the point of entry. So that was one interesting, unexpected outcome with the options in Cloudflare. Now, next up, I have for us on the charts, United Healthcare. In United Healthcare, I was tracking same thing, tomorrow expiry, so September 23rd, but this time the 515 put. Our entry with the overlap was when both sets of models overlapped with one another. So we have the hourly, we have the daily models, both overlap, and we also had the edge signal on at least that 1-minute time frame chart. Now with that, at the time of entry, the option was about $1.95. So of course, a little bit more expensive than the previous stock we just took a look at, which is much less expensive in terms of the underlying. So $1.95 here at the point of entry. The only other data point I have here is towards the end, towards the market close, where this option was about $2.20. The downside here was again less liquid compared to Cloudflare, so there was just less activity in this actual option, and I think the underlying would have allowed you to at least have a little bit more control over pricing the way you would like. Still, this gain from that $1.95 to the $2.20, about 12% in the underlying. Finally, the last option I have is CROX. CROX was another one that hit the overlap tab. That was when price again overlaps with the hourly and the daily models here. Hourly and then the daily models are these larger sets. Once we bounced in there, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 different edge signals here. So a lot of different oversold confirmations. The options pricing here in CROX, we had to go out to the monthlies. So a little bit more expensive purely because you're also paying for additional time there. $2.80. With the little push up that we had from the bulls, that didn't move the option again as much as I would expect. Thin options market there, so about $3, a 7% gain in total. Fairly small move, I guess you could call it quick, but the underlying there to me seems like a smarter way to play the markets that have less liquid options. And that was the one that was most interesting from having more data than not. Now if I show you our Thinkorswim charts here, here's a chart of United Healthcare, and before we do that, let me show you the live scanner here as well. Using the live scanner, this is what we have on the overlap tab, the 11 stocks we looked at, with Wix being the most recent one. On the hourly tab though, you'll notice we had many more stocks that actually triggered here, with a lot of big names triggering across the day. A lot of travel stocks as well. Now to show you this even cleaner, we can go to the daily tab, where on the daily tab here you can notice you had the likes of the Johnson & Johnsons, but again, a lot of travel stocks here. Delta Airlines, you had Marriott one more time, you had Airbnb, you had Expedia, which you can see right above. So you had a lot of different stocks. You had the Jets ETF that were on the travel sector that also hit the live scanner. Coming into the actual charts here, this was UNH. One more time seeing this live on your charts. UNH, that looked like a pretty nice setup when you compare it to yesterday's activity where price exhausted as well. We also took a look at CROX. CROX looked interesting more from the daily standpoint because we still had a bullish market pulse here, bouncing into where we had previously found support. And then finally, UNH on the short side, we had a big bearish candle the previous day, and really just looking for that short side continuation as well off of the daily charts. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how that daily time frame translated to our intraday time frame, which also translated to the different stocks which we had trigger using our hourly tab today. Hopefully this options pricing gives you an idea of what to expect if you were to try and play these different moves using options instead of the underlying, but I still do believe the underlying gives you the cleanest, most precise pricing options. Alright, take care everyone, good luck trading, and I'll see you in the next update.